Am I a pretty girl?
I don't know, but let's get this thing started.
Okay, all I know is we better bring the energy because the energy last week sucked the juice of the. We had great content and we had terrible energy. So I'm just saying.
Sounds like a personal problem
And
to me.
I love how you we talked about it at the end of the show, and then the next day you're editing and you're like, wow, our energy was really low. And I was like, yeah, we talked about it last night.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah, that early onset dementia sucks ass.
I'm sorry.
Saying.
Did you... Wait, what are you saying?
Exactly. You just proved my point.
No. Now I'm looking. And of course, the only one I chose is the one he didn't respond to. Never mind. Let's just do this. Let's just get it over with.
3, 2, 1.
Jam in on the one.
There it is.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the UNT3. We are coming at you with episode number 10. Woo! Episode 10 coming at you. Some of y'all never thought.
A fucking 10.
Amen. That's right, Billy Bob. All right. Some of you out there thought we wouldn't get here, but guess what? We did.
Like Lisa Marie and Michael Jackson and like Donald Trump.
Coming at you in your living room or on your phone, in your car, wherever, at your work, on the computer, whatever you're listening on, AirPods, I don't know. Just we hope you have a good time. But what we do here is we are three best friends that all we do when we get together is talk about music. We want to bring you into that conversation. We're going to bring you all music all the time. That's what we do here. We cover anything from soundtracks. We're putting super groups together. We're doing super fights, pitting bands against each other. We're talking about the best artists of certain decades, best album covers. Really, the sky is the limit. We want to bring you into the conversation. We'd love to hear what you have to say, get your input. Tonight, we're going to be coming at you with some interesting topics. I think we're going to be coming at you with best TV show theme song, and we're going to talk about top album opening tracks. And so we will have a first listen brought to you by one of our listeners who suggested this song. But first, let's dive right in to best TV show theme songs. And Joel, let's hear your theme song TV show list.
Well, so I just want to say, guys, it's so good to see y'all. I've missed y'all all week. This has been a fun one because, I don't watch a lot of TV, but when I do, the songs are always what pops out first. So I have one that is exempt from my criteria, but my criteria, and y'all are all going to blast me because these are old people TV shows. So I'm just going to put that up front. But I wanted all of my songs to be ones that were actually had lyrics. So it's someone who sang it and had lyrics. There's one exception only because I'll explain it when I get there, but I'm going to use that one for last. Okay. So the first one that I chose was a TV show from the 70s called Welcome Back, Kotter. I love that theme song.
Right on.
Half of the people that are listening probably had no clue what that is, but it's a great song. I absolutely Gurfers has no clue. But then again, Gurfers doesn't know half the songs I listen to, so it's really not that far of a stretch. But I love the song. It's so great. And it's actually the first show that John Travolta was that's his acting debut. So there's a little tie there. And I actually have a soft spot. There's a guy I used to work with. I still work with him, but we don't work in the same department. And his name was John Carter. And I was always, when I'd go ask him questions, I'd say, Mr. Carter. And he'd say, shut up, Joel. So, which is from the show. So go watch it. The second one that I chose was Cheers. I love the theme song to Cheers. I actually got to go to Cheers. If you've never been to Cheers, the bar looks completely different than the actual bar on TV. But I love that theme song. Here's some. I love the theme song, and I'm going to put these together. Different Strokes and Silver Spoons, because they kind of came out at the same time, and I absolutely love both of those theme songs. And it's kind of funny because, you know, they're kind of the same thing, only kind of different. I don't know. Anyway, I have two more. Fresh Prince. I mean, everybody knows that song, right?
You finally got, or Cheers and Fresh Prince are on my list.
Yeah. I was also thinking Fresh Prince and also the Martin, but all he says is Martin. Yeah. So I kind of ixnayed that one, but I like that one too. And then the last one is the only exception to the list. And it's only because it reminds me of watching TV with my mom. And we would watch it every night. It came on right after the news. And that's the m.a.s.h theme song. I don't know. Every time that thing plays, I don't know,
hearing
man.
it in my head right now.
Yeah, I mean, it literally just takes me back, and how it builds up at the end of that song it's just so good. So those are my choices of my favorite TV theme songs. So Fisher, you're up next.
All right. Well, I had the same criteria as you, Joel. I only chose theme songs that actually were songs, had lyrics. And so, like you, I'm going to start in the 70s. I'm not. but instead of welcoming back Cotter, I'm going to get a deluxe apartment in the sky.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to go with the Jeffersons.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
That's my first top TV theme song.
Oh, that's such a good one, man.
My second one is much more recent. The show just, I think in 2019 was its final season, and that's The Big Bang Theory.
Oh yeah, Bare Naked Ladies. That's great.
Yeah. And then this one, my next one, my number 3 is, not so recent, but I mean, the show first started when Joel and I were in high school, had a 10-year run, and it's the theme song for Friends.
Oh yeah. The Rembrandts. That's a classic. Yeah.
Little known fact that song was chosen over r.e.m. Shiny Happy People.
Really?
For the theme song of Friends.
Could you imagine what that would have totally changed the landscape of,
That show probably wouldn't have taken off.
It probably wouldn't. And I'll tell you this, what's so funny is people don't realize that that's an actual full song. Like it's like a 4-minute song.
Yeah.
And if y'all haven't heard the Rembrandt's first album, that is probably would go up with one of our previous episodes of albums they're still chasing, because that first album is brilliant, recorded in a garage, and it is brilliant. And they've never recovered or had that same success.
Are they even still together? Yeah,
as far as I understand, they're still together. But you know, that song, if I remember correctly, was recorded in those same sessions, and that's a great choice. I like that song.
Thank you, sir. My number 4 choice on your list. I don't see how you couldn't put this on your list, and it's The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah.
And then again, my 5th choice, my final, again, same as on your list. You can't have a top TV theme song list without Cheers.
Oh yeah.
So those are my 5: The Jeffersons, The Big Bang Theory, Friends, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and Cheers.
Yeah. That's great. Well, Ryan,
what you got?
Yeah, what do you got? Numbers guy.
So yeah, I got a lot. I come at you with numbers, and we're gonna fly through them, just kind of like, you know, on that banjo. We got Danny Carey. Yeah, we're just gonna go through this real quick. If y'all want to stop and talk about one, stop and talk about one, but it's gonna go fast. Okay. Hey, look, it's been a long day. I got at work this morning at like 5 o'clock. Left at like 5:30. I'm yeah.
All right.
Here we go.
Smallest violin, right?
It's
here
okay. You know, give me some cheese too, because I already got the wine. All right. So here we go. Now my criteria, typically, if I give you one of these, it's because I can hear the theme song playing in my head. And so, or if I hear the song somewhere, I immediately think of the TV show.
Okay.
And so, not necessarily needing to have lyrics or whatnot. But Friends was on that list. Of course, you know, whenever I hear that song, all I think about is Friends. I don't think about anything else. You've got the Perry Mason show. Quincy Jones actually did that. You've got the Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I'll be honest with you, I never watched that show. Everybody quotes how good it is, and it was one of those shows that just was out, and I just never got into it.
I never got into it either.
So this one here, I'm actually, I don't know that I'm going to say that I'm surprised this didn't make either of your list, but Gilligan's Island.
Oh yeah.
So the Gilligan's Island song,
I debated putting it on my list. That and Happy Days.
This one for me,
that's a good one too.
And this one for me is huge. And I remember watching this as a kid. This show started in 97. It ran through 1991, and then it kind of was revived 2012 to 2014.
In 97 and ran through 91.
1978 to 1991. And so that show is Dallas.
Yeah, it doesn't have lyrics though. That's
okay.
I mean, but you're 100% right.
But the thing is if you hear that theme song, you know exactly what show it goes with.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Back in the 60s, the Munsters.
Oh yeah.
WKRP in Cincinnati.
Right on.
Okay, but that's little on the edge of, I mean, I didn't watch that. I know the song, but I didn't watch the show.
You know the song though. See, enough said.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones, for all those people out there that like that show. Here's another one from the 70s, Sanford and Son.
Oh yeah.
I almost put that on my list.
But no lyrics.
Okay. I mean, but lyrics.
That's okay. Here you go. This one has lyrics. Surprised this one didn't make either one of your list. The Brady Bunch.
Oh yeah.
I put that again with Happy Days and Gilligan's Island.
Now, so we do have to let our listeners know that two of us followed the rules and kept it no more than 5. So,
but again, may I take your shirt off? There are
no, please, don't do it.
There are no rules.
There's an outtake on one of our videos that explains the shirt no rules. So go back and watch.
Another 70s 2, I believe.
Show. Another show that started in the 70s, Laverne and Shirley.
Yeah.
And then y'all talked about Different Strokes, the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Yeah, that's all right. That Mary Tyler Moore is a little ahead of my time. So
the next one of my favorite shows when I was really young, The Dukes of Hazzard, Waylon Jennings.
That should have been on the list.
Boys.
Yeah,
where y'all at? Come on.
That actually should have been on my list because I actually learned how to play that when I was a kid just because I loved the Dukes of Hazzard. So, hey, can I guess one that I think is on your list that I didn't think about until right now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is the Beverly Hillbillies on your list?
It is not.
What?
It is not on this list.
Really? You
what
have the
Addams
Monsters?
Family?
But it is now. But it is now because you said it.
Okay.
What about Addams Family?
We're not there yet.
No.
The Jeffersons, of course, is on here. All in the Family. The Andy Griffith Show.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
It's whistling, but yeah.
That's okay. This one, if I didn't put this on there, my wife may not want to be with me anymore. This is,
talk to you.
The Muppet Show.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's classic.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The Golden Girls.
Thank you for being a friend.
Oh,
that's
man.
Right. Then there was a show, The Monkees.
Yeah.
Sesame Street.
Yeah.
That's huge. We're almost there. the Love Boat. How do we leave the Love Boat off?
Because it's terrible.
Because it's epic.
I'm not a Love Boat fan.
No, not at all.
Miami Vice.
Yeah.
Again, no lyrics.
No lyrics.
That's
but
okay, but you know the song.
Yeah.
The X-Files. Dude, this one. Now, I remember this from being a kid because my mom would watch the hell out of this show back in 1990. Twin Peaks. I remember that show. Happy Days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one that
Happy-
Fisher mentioned a second ago.
M.a.s.h. The Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
The Addams Family. Now, the Batman theme song from the 60s Batman.
Yeah, I thought about that while you were talking. When you started saying some of those shows, I was thinking, and all it says is Batman, but still, it's pretty rad.
Cheers.
It has the na part.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So then these last well, I said Cheers, and then the last three, the show called SWAT.
Yeah, it's a theme. There's no.
Then you have the Rockford Files.
I love that show.
Yeah.
And then number one, and it says endlessly covered, right? 1968 to 1980, Hawaii Five-0.
Yeah.
So there it is.
Again, no lyrics, but
It's okay.
it's still a great song. These are not your requirements. They are just Fisher and I were just thinking the same.
Maybe we should have made those the requirements.
But a song does not have to have lyrics to be a song.
That's true. As shown in the next the album openers, just because it's
I can't believe nothing from TGIF made any of our lists.
Like Full House,
like Full House, Family
Matters.
I mean, shoot. What was the one with
You had America's Funniest Home Videos, that theme song.
That came on Sunday nights, though.
Saved by the Bell.
That came on Saturday mornings.
One thing that's interesting to me is of all of the things that we named, there was no cartoons. Like
no
Transformers, no He-Man,
no G.I. Joe,
no Mask, no G.I. Joe. Yeah, G.I. Joe.
Muppet Babies.
Yeah. Muppet Babies. Yeah,
Animaniacs.
Rugrats. SpongeBob SquarePants.
That was after our
All
time.
kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Metalocalypse. That's a great theme song too.
So what'll ton of songs. So talk about not sticking to the rules. All these songs were, theme songs we're naming off now. So yeah, that's fine. Y'all made your list of 50, so we're good.
Well, I'm just saying it's interesting that we literally didn't name a single cartoon.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do now, we're going to head into the next segment, and what we're going to look at is the top album opener. So the first track of an album, any genre. There's no rules here as far as decade. As far as decade genre, it doesn't apply. You can literally pick the top track or the opening track to any album. And so, Christian, start us off with opening tracks.
Okay, so I kept my list to 5 because that was the rules, and you guys have been getting on to me about, hey, it's interesting that Fisher says we should keep it to like 3 or 4, and then he's got like 10, so I kept it to 5. And I'm going to start off with 1989's Pretty Hate Machine and Head Like a Hole.
Yeah. Coming out the box swinging.
Yeah, I am. 9 Inch Nails.
That's a great track.
My next one is from the White Stripes off the White Blood Cells album, and that would be Dead Leaves in the Dirty Ground.
Mm-hmm.
Little bit of a left turn here, and this one is off It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back. Public Enemy's Bring the Noise.
Oh my gosh.
Bring the noise.
Bring the noise. Now, I'm partial to the cover with Anthrax.
No.
Hey, this is not your list. You shut your mouth. I just said I'm partial to that version, but
hit the mute button on it.
The version Bring the Noise, It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back.
That is a great track and great choice.
And then these next two, it was between these two and another two that I'll probably save for when you guys are talking. But my next one is off the album Murmur by R.E.M. Radio Free Europe.
Oh my gosh.
That song is catchy as hell.
Yeah.
And it was before R.E.M. was R.E.M., right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where they blew up and became mega popular.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm partial to R.E.M. I have really good memories listening to them.
Yeah. That's back when they were a college band still.
Yeah, they were a college band. And then this wouldn't be a Fisher list if the greatest band of all time did not make the list. You want to guess it, Joel?
No, I know the band. I'm just curious on which song and album.
Which album?
Yeah.
Off of 1991's Black Album, Enter Sandman.
Man.
Okay.
Of all of them, that is to you the best opening track.
I didn't say it was the best. It's the one that launched them into the stratosphere.
Okay, I see what
now,
you're saying.
I could have gone with Hit the Lights. I could have gone with Fight Fire with Fire or Battery or Blackened or Ain't My Bitch. I mean, you want me to rattle them all off?
No. I trust you. I just like, for me, is it Blackened that's off of Injustice for All?
Yeah, that's
that's
the opening track to Injustice.
That is such an angry album, and that just set the tone for we're gonna literally beat you in the face this entire album.
Yeah,
it's just so aggressive. I thought you were gonna go with that or Master Puppets, the first off of Masters, but
it'll be, you'd have to catch me in a certain mood to pick anything off of Injustice. Injustice for me, in some ways, is harder to listen to than Saint Anger. But that's just me. Mm-hmm. I know I'm going to get excoriated by all the metalheads out there.
I like the word.
Thank you. All right, Joel. So why don't you give us your five?
Okay, so I went a little off the grid. I chose two bands that I love. They're just rock bands. And then because I also listen to jazz and stuff, I picked some kind of ones that just, when I listen to it, just gets me every time. I will say this, it's funny because Saint Anger and Justice for All are my two favorite Metallica albums. So we'll discuss that later, but okay.
That tells you everything you need to know about the difference between me and you.
So the first song that I chose was Go off of Pearl Jam's Verses. We had to talk about this on a previous discussion episode where I love the album Verses. That is my all-time favorite Pearl Jam album. It's the second album that they released. I love 10. I love Vitology. But for me, Verses is like, and they have more albums than that, but for me, Verses is just like everything's hitting on all cylinders. Dave, the drummer for them at the time, he's the one who actually came up with the riff. And I absolutely love the way it kind of goes into this jam thing, and then they just kill it.
The only drummer for Pearl Jam, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I love Matt Cameron, but I hate to say that. There's something reckless about Dave's drumming that is so good. It's like you almost think he's not going to make it, but it's like he drives the band, where I feel like, Matt is just, he's so solid and straight and perfect. It kind of cleans them up a little too much. That's what I love about Verses. That's what I love about Vitology. And that's why I think I gravitate to those two albums over 10. Okay, so the second band I chose was Meat Plow by Stone Temple Pilots off of Purple.
Yes.
That song, I can't say it. Again, that is my favorite Stone Temple Pilots album.
Purple? Yeah.
Purple. And I love all of them. Like I even like the one, I listened to the one with Chester Bennington the other day. They still sound great. But for me, the second album, Purple, is by far just my favorite one. And what's so funny is I'm not even a big fan of Interstate Love Song. That's like my least favorite song off the album. But the rest of the album is just killer.
Still Remains.
Hey.
Oh God, that's a beautiful song.
I love it. Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. So this is where I went a little off the grid. My next one is The Cooker by George Benson off of George Benson's cookbook. So everybody thinks of Breezin' when they think of George Benson because he can sing, he can play, but the guy is like a masterful guitar player. And The Cooker is one of those albums and songs that when I heard it the first time, I literally didn't pick up my guitar for a couple days. It's so fast and furious and beautiful. And it's like he literally slaps you in the face for 2 minutes with this amazing guitar playing. So go check it out, The Cooker by George Benson. My next one is the opening track to Herbie Hancock's Headhunters album, Chameleon. And if you haven't listened to the Headhunters album, it is, if you want to hear funk, if you want to hear like just uncomfortably awesome funk, that album is by far the one to check out because it's so good. It's just greasy. The next album or song is Bright Size Life by Pat Metheny. Pat Metheny, I believe, was 16 years old or 17 years old when he recorded it. And he had Bob Moses on drums and a young Jaco Pastorius on bass.
Yeah.
The whole album is just phenomenal. And I remember I was into rock and heavy metal and all this other stuff. And my friend Jesse McGlynn said, hey, I had this song I want you to check out. And he put on this CD with the subwoofers and everything. So it's totally anti like what I was listening to at the time. And it like something just went off in my head. And so if you ever get a chance, there's a couple things that Pat Metheny did with Jaco. And he also did some stuff with Jaco and Lyle Mays, North Texas grad. Beautiful stuff. Go check it out. But that album, Bright Size Life, is just beautiful. And then the last thing is The Chicken off of the Jaco birthday concert. It's a live album, and The Chicken is one of the funkiest. I mean, Jaco was just in rare form. It's a beautifully funky track. The band is amazing. The drums, everything. It's so good. And it's so great to hear him play, but it literally kicks off with him saying, this is for my mom. And then it just kills it for like 7 minutes. So those are my choices.
Hit us with your list, Ryan.
All right, let's go. So Christian's list actually took a few songs off of my list.
Whoa.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
I don't believe any of Joel's songs were on my list because nobody's heard of any of that stuff. And so
I heard of the first two.
Okay, well, I didn't mean the first two, but they weren't on this list. But that jazz stuff, yeah. All right, here we go. So I'm coming at you again with numbers. Here we go. Boston, More Than a Feeling.
Oh, yes.
It's a great song.
Yes.
We tend to talk a lot about rock music on this podcast. At least we have so far. Classic rock, things like that. This is going to kind of change it up a little bit. LL Cool J, I'm Bad.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we'll go back to rock.
I read that Google list.
ZZ Top, Give Me All Your Lovin'.
Yeah. That's a Eliminator, right? Is that off of Eliminator?
Yeah. Yes.
That's a great album.
Beyonce, Crazy in Love.
Yeah.
Half the stuff he doesn't even listen to. So
I listen to Beyonce. I listen to ZZ Top. I listen to Boston. I listen to all this stuff that's been named so far.
Well, and if I'm correct, that Beyonce track is the first song that she did solo without.
When she broke away from Destiny's Child.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So, which I mean, if that's one of my favorite songs that she does.
Now, this one I will say I did look up, and I don't know what this is, but it's on the list. Elliott Smith, Needle in the Hay.
Oh my gosh, Elliott Smith.
do you need some time to yourself?
I
Joel?
might need some. I have to admit, the fact that Ryan even pulled out the name Elliott Smith is pretty amazing. But that's really good.
I'm sure if I heard the song, I might be like, oh yeah, I've heard that before.
No, if you heard anything by Elliott Smith, it's going to be the Good Will Hunting soundtrack. He did the closing song to.
Sure, I love that movie.
Yeah, so when he's driving off to go see her, that's Elliott Smith. But
got it.
The stuff that you're talking about, like that song that's an indie release, and it's him and acoustic guitar. So unless you're strung out on heroin, more than likely you haven't listened to it.
So next is
I'm
Queen.
just being honest.
We'll go Queen with "We Will Rock You."
Yeah. That's a great opening track.
Johnny Cash, The Man Comes Around.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't hear the album, so I don't know. I assume it's great.
Beck, Devil's Haircut.
Yeah, that whole album, Odelay, that whole album is full of hits. That's not my favorite song, but that definitely is a strong track.
Britney Spears, Baby One More Time.
Yeah, you
Hey,
can't
no.
deny that.
You used to have that poster, didn't you?
You know, hey, I had all kinds of stuff. I had her phone number. And again, Brittany, I'm sorry I had to trade you in for something. I upgraded. I'm sorry, Brittany. Don't be bitter.
I still have the
Wipe that
photo.
brown off your nose.
I have the photo of Ryan standing next to the wax figure.
It's wax. It was real.
Yeah.
In your mind.
So New York Dolls, Personality Crisis.
Do you even know who the New York Dolls are?
Yeah, they're the New York Dolls, self-titled debut album. It's one of the most important rock albums of the 1970s.
Well,
Reading
and
off the paper.
the thing is, though, I mean, you may not know the New York Dolls, but you know Buster Poindexter when he did Hot, Hot, Hot. Remember that track? Mm-hmm. And he was the singer. He was the lead singer for the New York Dolls. One of the bands that I just never got into was the New York Dolls. I tried, and you know, I know their history, but just never appealed to me, you know?
So then you got Van Halen.
He's the cab driver in Scrooged.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's acted in a few movies, yeah.
You got Van Halen, Running with the Devil.
Man.
Great tune.
That's a hard track to beat. That, I mean, because that basically changed rock and roll at the beginning of that. I mean, it just changed everything from that point forward.
Dude, that opening riff is...
My Bloody Valentine, Only Shallow.
Yeah. I mean, that's an indie. That's a deep cut right there. I don't know any of our listeners that probably know that, but that's a pretty deep cut.
This is a classic. The next one, everybody should know this one. AC/DC, Highway to Hell.
Yeah.
Then Beastie Boys, Sure Shot.
Oh, Paul's Boutique. Dude, that is a hard hitting track.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great album too.
Yeah, it's a great album.
You got The Who. What is it? Baba O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Daft Punk. One More Time.
It's okay.
I love that song.
This tune right here. So this one, I actually really like this song. We've talked about this in earlier shows. The Verve with Bittersweet Symphony.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty killer album in and of itself.
Yeah, the whole album is good. Unfortunately, it was overshadowed by the fact that they had to stop selling it because they got sued.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they just had to take that one track off because, you know, they had to actually pay the Stones. They don't make money on that song.
You got Isaac Hayes, Walk On By.
Ooh.
Isaac Hayes,
also known as Chef.
Yep.
Here's a band that... It's a big band, and I don't think we've really talked about them much on any of our episodes, but it's U2, Where the Streets Have No Name.
Yeah,
Joel talked about them last week.
Yeah,
I was just saying that with a band like U2, I figured that they would have come up in conversation a lot more than they have. Not that we haven't spoken about them. I just figured we'd talk about them more.
Yeah, the Edge, he was big with the rhythm guitar, and then we talked about Bono, about lead singers. And then, of course, the covers. Fisher chose one, and I chose a different album. But yeah, U2 is definitely that intro track. You know, considering how dark they were at that time, divorces and things of that nature, and then coming out with The Streets Have No Name, which is such a hopeful song. And if you ever get a chance, the behind the music on that, on how they made it, it's so crazy how the Edge kind of came up with that weird time signature thing, because it starts off in this like 3/4 or something, and then or like 5/8 or something, and then it goes into this 4/4 pattern, which is so crazy. And the Edge came up with all that on his own. So great track, great song.
Next, we've got The Strokes with Is This It?
Yeah, that set them off. That set them completely apart from the Hives and all the other bands that came out at that time. It's a great track.
Next, King Crimson, 21st Century. What is that? Schizoid Man?
Schizoid. Yeah, but be careful. You don't want to say their name too much. We may get blocked.
Well, then we'll move right on to the next. David Bowie with 5 Years.
I don't
Hey,
know that
pulling out a
track.
Bowie song. Right on.
I don't know that track. I thought it would be Ziggy Stardust.
Yeah,
That's a great track, though.
it is a great track.
All right, we're going to go back away from the rock. We're going to pull it back in here with some Run DMC Peter Piper.
Oh my gosh, that's a great track. And that's a great track. Great album too.
Iggy and the Stooges, Search and Destroy.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I actually like this a lot. Adele's Rolling in the Deep.
Yeah, it turned her into a
Womp, womp.
superstar. No, well, the first one she had was that Chasing Pavements, and then the next album she came out with that one, and it took her from a one-hit wonder kind of thing and really just pushed her over the edge. That's a great song.
Mm-hmm. Then Black Sabbath with Black Sabbath.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Here's one. This is a band we haven't mentioned much on these shows either, is the Smashing Pumpkins with, what is it, Cherub Rock?
That
Mhm.
is one of the ones that I almost put on my list.
Yeah, that is a great album. Yeah.
Wu-Tang Clan, Bring the Ruckus.
Yeah.
Wu-Tang!
Yeah. Wu-Tang
And then
forever.
Then you got my boys, the Beach Boys. Wouldn't it be nice? Here
Yeah.
we go. We're gonna slow some things down, get you in the mood.
Oh,
A
geez.
little bit of
Let's-
Marvin with
let's get it
Marvin
on.
Gaye with what's going on.
What's going on?
What's going
Right.
on?
Mm-hmm.
The Clash, London Calling.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just so happens on here, the Beatles. The song that is on this list for the Beatles is "Come Together."
Yeah, man. And I'll
They
be
have some,
honest with you. I love the Beatles, but I would rather listen to Sgt. Pepper's, man,
Mhm.
or a couple other tracks. Like I appreciate the song, but I've never been a big fan of Come Together.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Not a big fan of any of the covers out there either.
Yeah, yeah.
So we'll go Led Zeppelin, "Immigrant Song."
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, almost every album, at least those first four albums, every lead track off those albums could have been considered a favorite. But yeah, Immigrant Song is, yeah.
We'll go with the Pixies, "DeBaser."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, buddy.
Yep.
Now
album.
we're getting into some top 10 action.
Good Lord.
It's all good. Hey, we're almost there. You know, we need minutes. We need our viewers to watch our minutes. So you can edit that out if you want.
Yeah,
to.
no, I'm going to keep it.
So NWA, Straight Outta Compton.
Oh my gosh, great track. Great album. I mean, pivotal. Like I remember when that came out when I was in middle school, and it was such a release for some people. It was, yeah.
Prince, Let's Go Crazy.
Oh, great. Beginning, end, the guitar solo, and supposedly that song is about going into an elevator straight to hell, and it sounds like it.
Let's go crazy.
Yeah. Let's try to get out of that elevator.
Well, there you go. The Ramones with Blitzkrieg Bop.
Great track. Great song.
Michael Jackson, another big name.
Want to be starting something.
There it is. Want to be starting something.
Oh,
I
man.
listened to that in my classroom the other day.
That's a great track.
Bob Dylan, Like a Rolling Stone.
You know.
And then we're
There's
going
a
to follow.
certain listener out there that I have conversations with on the weekend, and he keeps pushing Bob Dylan. So there you go, sir.
But isn't Bob Dylan? I mean, he's got a ton of great opening tracks, but doesn't Highway 61 Revisited, if I'm correct, isn't that an opening track off of one of his albums? And that's a great song. So
It's yeah.
put it
It
in the
says-
comments below, like if I'm right or wrong. But I believe that's an opening.
Let us know,
track.
Mikey. Let us know.
Well, so Like a Rolling Stone is followed up by the next band, the Rolling Stones, with Gimme Shelter.
Oh God, I love that song so much.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next one here, number 4. I'm surprised this song wasn't mentioned by either of you. Nirvana with "Smells Like Teen Spirit."
Kind of cliche, I think.
Yeah, I mean I was trying to go a little outside the box on some of my choices, but when that song first was played off that album, it changed everything.
Yeah.
I mean, you heard 80s metal just So, yeah.
Here we go. Top 3. I think y'all both will appreciate this one. Number
Okay.
3, Radiohead, Everything in Its Right Place.
Yeah, I mean,
I almost put that one on my list, but
yeah, that's a. I mean,
it
again,
definitely announces, hey, everything you heard us do before this, put that in the rear view mirror because we're
Yeah.
moving on to something different.
Yeah, I think it's so funny that you have the mainly guitar-driven OK Computer, and then the very next album they have that song, and it's so different. So yeah, you're 100% right. I like it. I like the choice.
All right. This one I'm surprised neither of you mentioned, because for me, when you hear this song, talking about setting a tone, this song here is in your face and it'll knock you over. That's Guns N' Roses, Welcome to the Jungle.
Well, because the topic was top 5, so it's not like we could just put everyone that we wanted.
No, I get you, but I figured that, I mean, that Guns N' Roses would come up, maybe.
Yeah, no, I mean, I tried with my list to kind of maybe talk about some opening tracks that people may not have heard, but by far, like if you're saying rock albums, it's hard to beat that track because it's so good. I mean, it's so good. The whole album is good, but that track is
that's why that album made my list of the ones that a band is still chasing.
Yeah, no, and I get it, and very, very good argument, and I was moved to your side, but you're 100% right. That's a great opening track.
And then we'll finish it up.
Okay.
With Mr. Bruce Springsteen and Thunder Road.
Okay.
I mean, for me, like Born in the USA would be a better opening track, but I mean, this is your list. So,
yeah. Well, and so Ryan, he mentioned one that I almost put on my list, and that was Cherub Rock by Smashing Pumpkins, which Siamese Dream. Oh, such a great album.
Yeah.
The other one that I almost put on my list was We Die Young off of Facelift. For Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, those are opening tracks, man. I mean, lots of songs. Lots of songs, lots to choose from. But what we'll do next is we've got a first listen coming to you. And this week's first listen is actually one that was submitted by a listener of ours, Mr. Tim Noack himself. Joel, I believe, is going to cue this song up. But Tim, thank you for the submission. All three of us are going to take a listen to this and let you know what we think. But Joel, go ahead and take it away with what it is that we're going to be listening to.
Okay, so the track that we're going to be listening today is by a band called Joyce Manor. They are an American rock band out of Torrance, California, that was formed in 2008. It looks like they're still together. I've actually heard some of their tracks before. I was not familiar with this one, so I did cheat a little and listen. But you two have not heard this song. So I thought before we get started, a fun little game that I'm going to start playing is, will Ryan like it? So before we listen, Fisher, do you think Ryan will like this song?
No.
Okay. Ryan. Okay. So, and Ryan doesn't get to vote because he has to say yes or no. So Fisher says, Fisher says no, but I think there's a good chance he may actually like it, which probably put the nail in the coffin on this song. So again, this is Joyce Manor, and the song is called Falling in Love Again. Can you hear it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so what do you think is so far?
Yeah, I don't think he likes it. Told you.
No. Before I can give an honest opinion, I just need to finish it. But up to this point, I don't dislike it, but I don't like it.
Okay.
I know that's a cop-out answer, but I need to hear the rest to give an honest opinion.
Honest. Okay. Well, so since we have it paused, Fisher, what are your thoughts so far?
Meh. I
Okay.
mean, if you want my honest opinion, I mean, it sounds like a band that we would hear at the Curtain Club or something, right? Like before Not Called Common went on stage.
Yeah.
So
before the Curtain Club closed.
right.
Not right now.
Well, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. I'm just being arguing.
It's very college rockish in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right. It's something that you would hear on college radio or and I'm not knocking college radio and I'm not knocking college rock. I'm just saying that that's the feel I get from it, and it's not moving me yet. So.
Okay. Well, let's dive a little deeper, guys.
I like the keyboards. I got a very The Cure kind of vibe there towards the end.
Okay.
All right. So overall, I had to pull a lever of I liked it, I didn't like it. I'll pull. Yes, I liked it. Not enough though to listen to it on repeat.
Or again.
Well, no, I mean I'd listen to that again, but I think I figured it out after we started it to keep it going. I figured out what it is that I guess I don't like about it. Take the vocalist out of there and give me just the instrument, like the instrumental, and I'm all in. I'm all in on the instruments. You got to take the vocalist out. I wasn't a fan of his vocals.
Yeah.
And so I think that was the turnoff for me was the singer.
Yeah.
See, I would kind of go the other way with that. I think the singer is what gives the song character, at least to me. If you remove the singer, then to me, just the instruments and the music itself is kind of flat. And so I would much prefer to keep the vocalist in. But if I had to pull a lever, do I like it or do I not? I'd have to put not, because I'll be honest, it's not a song that it wouldn't make my playlist. Let's just say that. So
yeah. No.
Sure. Yeah. I'm not going to save it to my library, but if it were to come on, let's say I've got a Pandora station playing and that song were to come on the Pandora station, I won't hit the skip button.
Yeah.
Just depends on how close to the skip button I am.
Well, see,
I'm being honest.
Well, and for me, this reminds me of Taking Back Sunday, Thursday, Knuckle Puck. I mean, it's not as I think it's a little rawer than those. There's a couple other bands that they're on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of, but that's what it kind of reminds me. That kind of, where emo comes from is emotional rock, and that's what this sounds like to me. It sounds like to me early emo, and
Yeah.
so for me, I love it. It sounds like a band that would be on the side stage at Van's Warped Tour. Would they be the main stage? Probably not, but they'd probably be on one of the side stages, and I would check them out. But I actually really liked it. I like the drums. I like the instrumentation. I actually like what Fisher said. I like the vocals between the kind of the character of the screaming versus the kind of singing. But I listened to their catalog a little bit today just to kind of get a vibe of who they were, and I thought it was really good. But I listened to stuff I've heard them before, so that it wasn't too far outside my wheelhouse to listen.
Well, I will say this, that to me, part of the charm is it reminds me of going to shows when we were 22, 23 years old, and going to, just hole in the wall places to hear these bands play. And you go and you're packed in with 150 other people to see this band play, and you get hot and sweaty, and you're drinking drinks. You always got to go there.
I'm just
you got to make a face. But yeah, it's very reminiscent of being back in that time and going to shows, and like I said, it's sounds like a band or a group that we'd hear on stage while we were either waiting for Not Called Common to go on stage, or just after you guys got off stage, something like that.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Any final words, Gophers?
Thank you again, Tim, for the submission. That is not a band that I'd ever heard of, and so absolutely thank you for the comment. Everybody else, just know that if you want us to listen to something, put it in the comments, and we will do our best to make sure that happens for a first listen.
Yeah, and speaking of comments, it's real great to watch the videos. It's even better to make comments in the comment area. But if you really want to make a big impact, subscribe to our channel. It's real simple to do. You can get on there, subscribe. And then as soon as you subscribe, every time a new video comes out, I know that I'm on it, and it tells me, hey, it's Thursday. Guess what? A new episode's out. This is great. We have some great content that's coming out over the next couple of weeks. The submissions on things that we're going over is pretty exciting, and we don't want y'all to miss out on that. Also, like Fisher and Gurfers have said before, if y'all have anything that y'all'd like us to cover, a topic, anything as far as songs, this was a lot of fun. But if there's something that you want to have us listen to and get our reaction, put it in the comments section. We read those, we respond to those. There's some people that have disagreed with some of our choices. I think we may have one of those people on the show later. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it would. Fisher times 2.
I'll have the little beeper ready, beep. But seriously, we love talking about this stuff. But the thing that got us started doing this is when we would each ask each other questions, because we just love talking about this stuff. So please subscribe, put it in the comments section, recommend us to friends. Let us know what you're listening to. And those people that have subscribed recently, thank you so much for doing that. We do this for us, but it's even better knowing that there's people out there that appreciate it. So, Fisher, what do you have recommending, or what are you recommending to us this week?
All right. So, last week didn't have any recommendations, wanted to take time out for the dearly departed Mr. Cliff Burton. But this week I'm bringing two channels to you. The first one is a channel by the name of Alex Hefner. He goes, his big thing is Hip Hop Head Reacts to, and it's usually some kind of hard rock or metal song. Guy grew up a hip hop, again by his own description, a hip hop head, never hearing rock and roll or metal or anything to that effect. And but he just kind of like us, he reads his comments, then people recommend songs and he listens to them and he reacts. And then my second is a cover channel. She's probably one of my favorite cover channels, and it's a channel, a young lady named Violet Orlandi. She's from Brazil. And she covers mainly early 2000s rock, like Paramore and 30 Seconds to Mars and things like that. Kind of gives off an what's her name, Amy Lee, Evanescence, kind of gives off that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
She's a better singer than Amy Lee in my opinion, but that's just my opinion.
Put that in the comments. Put it in the comments.
But those are my two channels, Alex Hefner and Violet Orlandi. Take it away, Ryan.
That's right. He said it. He said it. Give him hell down there. All right.
Hey,
so,
I bring it on.
Bring it. Come on.
Please do. Please do.
The more comments, the
The
better.
better. Feeds the algorithm.
All right. So we had a great conversation today talking about TV show theme songs and then album opening tracks. Fantastic conversation today. We're going to keep bringing you lots of really good content. Our next episode, we're going to kind of go a little bit in a different direction. And what we're going to look at here is back in the day, I liked to put Joel and Christian through these little, what I called competitions. And so we might kind of do something along those lines to see who can name something that I give them. And what we're looking at doing is I am going to give out the real birth name of an artist, and Joel or Christian is going to have to give me what that person's stage name is. So we'll see who can, if we turn it into a competition, who can get more points. We will see. The points don't really matter, but we will see what happens. Also, we're going to be looking at best songwriters. Now, this can be a single songwriter or a duo, and they don't necessarily have to be the ones performing the song.
Let's keep it to like 5.
And so
1,000.
we will do.
I'm looking at you, numbers guy.
5,000.
That's okay. But again, there are strength in numbers, and there are things that were said today on my list that made Joel very excited.
Yeah, that's
we
true.
saw him jump out of his chair a little bit, and he might have puckered a little bit, which is great. He, that little. Never mind, we won't go there. But anyway,
wow! I still am surprised about Elliott Smith. That the words Elliott Smith out of your mouth, they're like, I mean, that got me.
He just read a list. That's all he did.
It's okay. It's all right. And so what it is, it's good stuff. Good conversation. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Okay, it's all good. That's right.
Reel it in, man. Reel it in.
But hey, so what we're going to do, stay tuned. Be ready for next week's episode. We'll have a lot of good content. Make sure you're commenting, liking, subscribing, sharing. Until then, keep living, keep loving, keep listening, and as always, keep rocking.
Too much
Peace.
metal for one hand, baby.
They keep coming up with slogans.
Dude, I love it that you end the show with that. Keep doing it.
That's what she said.
I hate you, but I love you.
But you are still our hero.
Oh.
But we need to just have that like on like a little button where you push it and then all you hear is, the theme song Hero.
Hero will save us.
Amen. All right, let's do this. This is episode 11, correct?
No, this is episode 10.
I thought we did 10 last week.
No.
Episode 9 was last week.
Wait,
That's
no,
why.
I thought
Man,
you said,
we are all out of sorts tonight.
no.
That's what she
Wait,
said.
did she?
She always says
Oh.
it to me, baby.
Let me call her.
Let me call her. I got to make sure.
Hey, do you like it when I say keep living, keep loving, keep listening, and keep rocking? She said yes.